Hey, Kodiak here, and today I am doing the back half or part two of the Tribe Level 5 recap. If you remember from the first video, most of that's really spent grinding. It's grinding out awareness, strength 60, getting your bodies, using the training grounds to improve, perfect your bodies, get your companions and get their bodies up. Do any explorers or guys that you're going to put on adventures, but that's what I call explorers. Get those guys all set up so that way they can go out there and do adventures. So that way they farm content you don't want to have to go and farm. And that just takes a lot of time. So that was really kind of like that front half of time. And then part two here is really just content, content, content. Uh, for a little content recap, I basically went and did the Mammoth. They unlocked level 60, but more importantly, that unlocks the bonus of body enhancement. So that's a max HP 400, defense 40, attack plus 10. That's really big. In order to unlock that, you need mysterious crystals. So I grabbed just like a trash winter costume set from the various barbarian camps here and went to the Holy Ruins and then used the Conquest Mask's invisibility to just run around and quickly loot a couple of chests. That also gives some amber that we're going to need here in a minute. Because we went and then killed the Doom Saber, which unlocks the advanced set. That really helps out in terms of the between that and body level 5, it is a huge jump in the stat totals that you have. That really makes a lot of other content easier. From there, I went ahead and did a couple of invasions. Because we ran into a bit of an invasion bug, I was kind of like, okay, I'm done with invasions for now. I'm not going to really worry about that. Did the ancient dungeon ruins. That gave us the Shadow Mask. After that, we were going to need to go into the volcano, so I went and did Berserk Fog Frog, got our Berserk Fog Frog fire resistance or heat resistance set, and then came and did the Scorching volcano to do the Holy Ruins inside of there to get the restrictive module for the Shadow Mask. So that was kind of what we did in the first part. The next thing I pretty much went right into was I came and did the Doom Ape. Doom Ape set is what I prefer for end game activities, is because the additional stamina on there just feels wonderful. You'll see a lot of cases where it feels like I just have infinite stamina, and we'll kind of go over that in a little bit of some of the changes that I made and everything else. So I really prefer that set. After that, I was able to do the Fog Frog of Doom, which Fog Frog is always an easy fight if you stay melee on him. If you try to stay at range too much, it's kind of like it's safer in some ways because you don't gotta you can easily dodge his leaps and you don't get licked or anything like that. But he's gonna blanket half the arena or more in poison, and it's kind of like you have to be really good to be able to dodge those things. So I used to dodge it quite a bit. I still go in with a range mentality if I have to back up on that, but for the most part, I do just try to stay in melee range and just kill him if it's viable. And it just seems like way easier to do it that way. So that wasn't too bad. After that, I basically came up and did the Tempest Griffin, all 3 versions. I did actually have to reload a save on this because he bugged out. So I did the first one, I did the second one, and then on the third one, he literally just sat there and glitched out. And I couldn't really figure out what was going on. And then just out of nowhere, I was picked up, and he dropped me, and then while I was down, he picked me up again, but he didn't pick me up. He actually dropped me through the world. So my stuff was it was just all right, we're gonna reload this again. I don't like to save scum. I would have eaten the death if that was but I'm not losing my stuff and we're gonna just do it all over. Second time, a lot better. He never really got stuck. Albeit I got really kind of paranoid. You'll see in a couple of cases where he does just fly above me and sit there, and I'm like, oh god, and I run away a little bit. I didn't want to repeat. So I don't know if that was just all glitched because of the just doing all 3 versions back to back, but that that was kind of weird. So that was kind of the way I did it. Got all those done. After that, I had been leveling the Shadow Mask in between while doing other activities, and in a couple of cases, I did a little bit of idling. Around working on basically there was a couple of explorers that I was leveling up to 60. So, I'd sit them on like a die table and I'd just sit there and do a little bit of alchemy for like an hour or something like that while I was busy with something else, to go ahead and level up the Shadow Mask. And then now that I had the fully leveled Shadow Mask with the Restrictor module, I came and did the snow biome content. I started with the Ancient Ruins dungeon. This one you actually need to either have a companion or your Snow Jaguar with you to go ahead and trigger one of like the I believe it's the Divine tablet there. Um, so I had that, and that's like you can. It's nice with the Shadow Mask because you can ride around invisible, and that's like the big boost to that mask over the Conquest Mask. I think the Conquest Mask is better if like you're going in and out invisible, like attacking guys. So if you want to like stealth attack a guy, the Conquest Mask shorter cooldown on invisibility is by far superior. Whereas the Shadow Mask has like this 40-second cooldown on stealth, and you can't go in and out of stealth. It's not great. So that was kind of nice. We did that dungeon, not too bad. Then I basically wrapped up with the big holy ruins. That dungeon just takes forever. It's an hour trip for me. It was an hour long video. I don't like to keep really long videos, but that one it's a ton of content. But I did the whole thing. I did the one divine tablet. I did the second divine tablet. For the unlocks, I did the core boss, got my ancient table, got all that content, did a couple of side dungeon or loot areas, and then I did the final boss. I actually got really mad that I didn't get the system log 2 because I wanted the data, and I still might go back in there and get it just because it would bother me if I don't get it. So definitely annoying, but that is what it is. And today we mopped up the mammoth. We get our exploration or explorer mask from here. You do have to level it up a little bit, but you don't have to get like super high level. I think it's like level 5 you get the movement speed, and that lets you basically kite around the mammoth. I love kiting around the mammoth. It's just the easiest way to do that fight. He has so many, like especially on Doom Mammoth, he has like so many abilities that are just like gotcha, like you're just dead, and I hate that. But otherwise, he has a lot of like big stompy attacks as well, and I'm just not a fan. So I just kite him around. I can do it. It's not hard. It's not bad. In terms of that, to kind of show what I had going on here is I had plus movement speed, 5 or plus 6% movement speed from the Griffin bonus. I have plus 5% bonus from Joyful being a hunter. So that's 11%. Then you have Excitant for another 10%. Then you have Mixed Jam for another 10%. And then you have the Explorer Mask, which when you're in Mimicry mode is another 10%. So that's plus 40% run speed. And you can almost outrun him just without even sprinting. But then sprinting, you do that. And that basically cinched it up. Now, my reputation was not quite high enough at that point to actually complete the level because you need 5,000 reputation. My reputation at the time was like 4,000, like 900 or so, and I could have grind out like that extra 100 or two by going and killing guys, but I wanted to try the invasion totems. And what invasion totems are is, if you look at these, you can see like level 1 invasion totem, a totem that attracts nearby invaders to compete for control. Successful challenge, you get tribe reputation, maximum 10,000, and it's like that for all of them. So like plus 1,000, plus 2,000, and then this one's plus 4,000 with a max of 20,000, and then this one is 8,000 free, and the one I haven't even unlocked yet is 16,000 with a max of 80,000. I don't know what would take 80,000 because tribe level 6 seems to be the cap, but that is pretty crazy. I can only imagine how hard some of these invasions are. I just did a level 2 invasion totem, and it was pretty intense. I will say, though, because I was tribe level 5, the gear that I was seeing was roughly around the same, where it was mostly steel gear, a little bit of iron gear, and then kind of that mix. So I think the level of guys is still to your level of tribe. It's just how many guys you get, as well as what level they are. Because the levels actually started to go above level 50, like the captains were like level 60 or so. So I think that's what the powerful is. Powerful means level, and the gear is still equipped by that. I'm actually going to test this out again because so this isn't consumed. This is actually like a almost like a bonfire, if you will, where you put it down, you put in fuel, and when you enable it, whenever your invasion's off cooldown, it will trigger an invasion while it's enabled and lit. So I actually had an invasion cooldown after I completed the that invasion, and then that actually I had that cooldown, and now you can see the invasion countdown is going down again after a couple hours here. So that actually does count as like a full-on invasion for those purposes. And if I am sure if I just left it running, soon as that 2-hour cooldown was up, it probably would have summoned another invasion. So they're basically invasions on demand. They're also invasions on demand to where you want them to be. If you wanted, theoretically, you could set up a bonfire in some like just clutch location, like some super flat circle area, and then just set up like all the defenses you could possibly want. Just have the whole thing just be pure 100% defenses with your bonfire in the middle plus everything else. Keep it away from like your production base, and then you can summon the invasion to that location using that totem and face it that way. And I think that's actually really cool. That's a really good way to kind of bypass this because there's a little mild anxiety that you're going to have a base like this and it's going to get invaded and you're going to lose like all my farm. Like, what if they take out one of these pillars? Like, oh my God, farm's gone. Like it's pretty bad. So that was really cool. And I got my 1,000 thing to actually get my tribe level. So we can look at that. So tribe level 6, it is currently the cap. There is no more additional bonuses. I got a nice little comfy picture here, a little couple of tribe chairs. The total number of bonuses is you get a 40% increase to harvesting, logging, smelting speed. You get 20 additional cap, which if you remember in terms of tribe, I decreased the tribe limit to 50, and then I set my personal limit to 100. So then that way this bonus would actually count. So you can see I'm currently at 50 out of 70. That's because of the wonderful hibernation pods behind me, keeping all the trainers going. So you can kind of plan on having potentially around 70-ish guys or whatever it is you set your personal cap to in terms of like base planning and otherwise and doing that type of stuff. For breeding and animals, yeah, I have a huge cap here. So like I have a personal cap of like 40 for whatever reason, but the tribe I think has a certain number of animals as well. And I think that's what it's actually increasing. It's not actually increasing mine. I think it's like the animal things, or that's the number of pens you can have. I'm honestly not 100%. Crossbow tower is pretty self-explanatory. You can have additional crossbow towers. I didn't do crossbow towers on a lot of my defenses, primarily because I was concerned. Okay, so let's say I have a crossbow tower. They shoot at a guy. The guy whips out his bow with a small explosive arrow, and then now my base is destroyed. So that's why I didn't really do those. I really didn't want to trigger that and keep that going and basically have like half my base get destroyed. I did actually consider having something like, the crossbow towers actually have like tremendous range, like 100 meters range, which, like if I put that ballista over there on attack, it will hit things in the ancient ruins all the way over there. So I was thinking if you stack like crossbow towers really, really high, they could shoot out as they come in, and then maybe that would work, but they wouldn't be able to like counter fire onto the ballistas. So. Or even the crossbow towers. So that's certainly an idea. Maximum number of farms. I'm loving it. I have so many farms. I still need to do my part 3 video, kind of covering my base setup and for farms for the hunting grounds and some of the changes. But like this has been fantastic having all this space and having all these farms going. As well as having a whole bunch of extra farms over at this location as well. I probably should have expanded this out, and in the future I would probably want to have a location that is better set to actually have take advantage of a full bonfire circle, kind of like how this is. So that might change up some of like a future plans of where I would put a base over there. While that base is convenient, I don't necessarily need it to be set up the way that it is currently. That would have been a lot better if I was playing like on a server or something. In terms of the other bonuses, we of course get the bonfire reduction. Lovely. My coal has started to go up again, so that's been nice. I'm actually going to probably run into too much coal. Thankfully, we have converters. Converters will go ahead and do all that. I've never really with the settings on this because they know you're playing single player mode. They jack up the converter settings to be like extremely high. So I haven't really needed more than 3. Converters are generally better if you have like an always running server because then you're always gathering resources 24/7. And then it's like you hit that cap and it's like, well, either stop gathering or you start converting into other materials. So more hibernation pods is great. That would be more trainers. I actually feel like I should have gone after more individual skills just in case I wanted them. That would have been handy. And I certainly had plenty of pods after running a lot of those dungeons. Usually get like one after every time after the Jade Jungle dungeon. Additional portals. I really haven't used too many portals. The base game really has a tremendous number of portals at a lot of locations, and it's usually a short jaunt. You can like if you just port here, like it's literally a 15-20 second run on a Jaguar up that hill. Like I don't need a portal to like, oh, I have a portal like right there. So it's one of those things. So it's like I really haven't really used them. Overall, I do have one over here for an obsidian base, so that way, I have slowly been upgrading my base to blackstone just because I've never done that. I wanted to get like a base fully upgraded to blackstone to actually do all that. So I do have a base over there, but like for the most part, like most places, you can just port to be there and be there pretty good. Plus, the no building area really kind of limits a lot of things like that. So not too much use out of that for me. The rest of these are kind of weird. Obviously, having the production bases is okay, but like I don't really have that many production bases to where I'd ever run into a cap. Specialized breeding training. I want to say that's elephants, but I genuinely don't know what this is. Because then there's this one, which is also special animals. So it's like, is this elephant cap? I just don't know. This one has the breeding pen, so maybe it's like you can have more. Like if I wanted to stack 4 or 5 bison pens or something, but like honestly, they're all terrible. Like all the specialty pens for like bisons and turtles and all that shit are just completely awful. The return rates on them because of the grow times and there's no food to increase the things on them are just completely fucking awful. So I don't know why this matters. Statue of God, amazing. I actually haven't built this yet. I'm super excited to actually put it down. 10% additional damage, 10% additional defense. That should actually boost my expeditions as well because remember defense actually impacts the stats on that, so that's actually looking pretty good. 100% additional awareness XP. Okay, sure. You have to get level 60 to be here, but all right. Additional bonfires again because I don't really put bonfires anywhere. I don't really do anything. That doesn't really do anything for me. Reservation system is great. This is actually unlocked by default on survival mode, and I was super thing. The merchant system, love it, absolutely love it. I'm constantly saving stuff, extra items that I don't want. I save them and I sell them. I get all sorts of money. If you want to pay off invasions down here, like the invasions have been like 250 gold per invasion. So it's like if I don't get a merchant, I can start to get in a little bit of a trouble. But usually you can get enough. The extra items that you get out of dungeons or doing bosses, so like the keys that these guys have, or the you can get like the in the holy ruins. There's the items that you need for, like for example, out of this holy ruins, I got something like 12 holy whatever relics or whatever to summon the ancient. I'm not doing that many mammoths, so I can sell off like half of those, and those are worth like 30 gold per one. It's really nice. The ancient merchant also will bring items from the ancient dungeons as well. So for example, on the level 5 dungeon, I actually got Astaban. So this is all the Astaban I will ever need for the Iron Blood mask, and that's usually kind of like this is a tougher to get material, so that's actually really nice for when I go to make these masks. I already have some of these materials bought up from there. I, of course, buy the mithril to make more hibernation pods and the like. So I really like the merchant system, and I hope that they would do that even in survival mode because I think the whole coin system and all that stuff is actually really cool and interesting. I've been, like I wouldn't say like half my base or anything, but like I buy the Blackstone bricks every time he's here. It's really good. So The only thing is I wish it would show up somewhat more often. It felt like the only you're guaranteed one when you go up in a tribe level, but thing. But otherwise, that's it. That's been pretty much Tribe Level 6. The only content really left to do will be the Alpine land. There is a Plunderer King here that I want to go do. There's an Ancient Dungeon here I want to go do. There's another Ancient Dungeon over here that's like level 50. I will probably downgrade my armor and do that one as well to show it. Um, but otherwise, I think that kind of wraps things up pretty well. I will record those videos and probably put them up. I am also going to explore the invasion systems, which if my base doesn't get completely destroyed, or maybe if it does, like I still might reload a save, but I might go into some of those harder invasions. Like, what does a level 6 invasion look like? I can only imagine, and I am somewhat interested to kind of see like what that actually summons and how bad all that actually is. So that could be fun. But there are a couple other games coming out soon, so I'm going to probably rotate more towards those direction, having gotten the bulk of the content there. So hopefully I'll get some of that stuff done today. If not, in the future, if I get extra time or things like that, or I want to come back. I do, like, long term, I do plan to kind of like min-max the save out. I want to unlock all the things, and I'm hoping in the future they make it possible to travel between the two maps on single player mode, and then that way I can just go back and forth to Shifting Sands. Or if the worst case scenario, if they finish everything over there and we don't necessarily restart our survival mode server where I have everything kind of set up, established, and running, I can just go ahead and continue on tribe mode and basically do that new content on this. So thank you for watching. That's it. Thanks.